Setting writing goals for 2025 is essential for those of us who are authors and for those who want to be. Setting goals will help you clarify your focus, prioritize your tasks, and drive progress toward your writing aspirations.
The first step to smashing your goals in 2025 is to set SMART goals. Now, maybe you've heard this acronym before, but a SMART goal is specific, it's measurable, it's actionable, it is
Relevant.
relevant and
And
time sensitive, if
yes,
I can get that acronym out. All of those things have to come together to make a really good goal, something that is going to give us direction and kind of a roadmap to success. So as we go through this today, keep that in mind. Your goals have to be SMART goals if you want to raise the probability of smashing your goals in 2025.
it's also helpful if you tell others. So, what are your writing goals for 2025? Let us know in the comments.
What is your goals, Angie? Tell us what your goals are. Declare it to us. Speak it out. Let's hold you accountable.
Well, my number one goal for this year is to get all of the Electricals Saga books published this year in 2025. That's one of my big goals. So you may be wondering, you may have big goals. How do you take your big goals and turn them into SMART goals?
I think the thing we really need to do to make those big goals achievable is to break them down into much smaller, actionable steps. By doing this, then it's easier for us to take action to accomplish that, not to get overwhelmed by it. If we have a great big goal, sometimes it's easy to push that off and not really jump in and get discouraged. There's all kinds of problems with just setting one giant goal for the year. But if you break that down into smaller steps, it makes it way more easy to achieve. So if your goal is to write a book in 2025, then maybe what you need to do is start out by writing for 30 minutes a day.
It's a great goal.
It is a great goal, and that little achievement consistently will get you way farther than going next week I'm going to write a thousand or 10,000 words or whatever. If your goal is to finish a current work that you already are writing on, maybe you need to focus 30 minutes a day just on rewrites or edits or some aspect like that, where you can be specific, where you can have it measurable and achievable, something that you can actually do and accomplish. So it has to be relevant. The other thing that sometimes we do is we set ourselves a little goal and then we get sidetracked with doing a miscellaneous thing that really isn't achieving the goal. So rather than working on the writing, we think about, maybe how we could market it or come up with a new idea. No, we really
We get
need to,
distracted.
yeah, we need to be focused on that. And if you're setting a time limit, 30 minutes a day, then it is very time sensitive. So take the big goal, break it down into smarter goals, and you have more of a chance to achieve it.
You want to look at where you're at in the writing process and create your actionable goal from there.
Now, here's an extra tip to keep in mind. Stay
Oh,
flexible.
so important.
In 2024, we set a goal to publish the first book in the electrical saga, The Uprising, by Christmas. But that didn't happen because the publishing process is full of places where you can hit a delay.
Yeah.
And we hit a couple of delays in some of the editing and the book cover, just some stuff that slowed it down a little bit. So we didn't achieve that goal. But we just were flexible and we said, all right, Christmas is out. So what we need to do is set a new date. So here it is. Are you ready? The Uprising will be published on the target date of February 14th.
Yay, it's so exciting. And if you would like to be on our launch team and receive an advanced copy for you to read before the publication date and help us successfully launch this incredible book, there will
Please
be
help us.
there will be a link in the descriptions for you to sign up to get your free copy and help us out.
So this is just a little reminder that in the writing and the publishing process, there's all kinds of places for delays to happen. And we have to stay flexible so that you don't get thrown off your big target goal. So if you get sick for a week or there's some delay or you go on vacation and you can't write that week, then if it's a small goal, you can double up the next week or spread it out, add a little bit more, and still achieve your big goal because you've been flexible and created smaller tasks to achieve.
After you set those smart, actionable steps, there's a few things to keep in mind to help you reach your goal.
By the way, did you write those small actionable steps down?
I have,
Because
but
that is another key. You got to write them down or else you forget. And by writing it down, you're way more likely to actually accomplish it.
this is very true. But what I'm going to talk about is a lack of motivation, which does require you to write things down to help with that lack of motivation. A lack of motivation, it can become very discouraging. You might have a lack of focus,
Mhm.
or you don't have you have unclear expectations, or this is a one that's really big, is perhaps your environment is not encouraging for you
Mm.
to write.
That happens a lot because sometimes it's just the activities in the environment that makes it difficult to write.
That's right. So, one of the things you can do is to write down your goals or your action steps, write them down, post them where you can see them every day
And she does. They're posted all over. They're posted on the bathroom mirror. They're posted all through the house, on the cabinets, on the fridge. It's everywhere.
so that I see it. I see this is what I'm reaching for. This is what I'm trying to do. And so you can actually look at those things every day and say them out loud. This is what I'm doing.
Another obstacle that prevents writers from reaching their goals is poor planning. And this happens to all of us from time to time. Poor planning is something that you should look at right up front and figure out, how am I going to deal with this? You have to plan for time management, interruptions, all kinds of stuff happening in your life. You want to plan for that. If this happens, then I need to adjust my schedule. If something else happens, then I can maybe have increased time and get ahead of it a little bit. The other thing we need to keep in mind is that if we're not breaking the big goals down into smaller goals, then we're less likely to achieve those goals. Writing habits is another big aspect of this. You have to plan to develop your skills, not only just write, but take time to really develop your writing skills and have good habits in doing that. And that will help you overcome this failure to plan.
You can actually take these smart, actionable steps to help you overcome that poor planning by looking at where are you going to write? Like what does your area, your writing area look like? Do you have a desk? Do you have a window? Do you have what decorates your area? Is it
Mhm.
clean? Is it cluttered? Where will you write?
I know for me, if it's cluttered, it just ruins my inspiration.
It clutters up your brain.
Yeah, it does. So I have to have it very quiet, very simple, so that I can engage and really get in the writing mode.
The other thing that does for you is once your brain gets to, "Oh, this is where I write," if you have that spot set aside, then when you sit down, your brain says, ah, it's time to
It's
write.
time. And you'll be amazed at the creativity that'll come. It's those habits, right?
Yeah.
And we have to plan for those habits so that we can accomplish that. Going right along with that is, when will you write? Now, this may be a challenging thing in your day if you're as busy as we are. But for Angie, she likes to write in the morning because she's inspired. She wakes up talking, and here we go.
I
That
am a
is
morning person.
that is not me. I get up in the morning, the last thing I want to do is write something down. Oh, where's the coffee? But in the evening, I come alive. She goes to bed, shuts it off. I come alive. So, when do you write? What time of day? Do you have specific times set aside? That's what you really want to accomplish, is to understand, when are you most creative? When can you carve out the time? Maybe you have to get up early or stay up late. Make sure that it's in your creative zone.
A discussion about setting goals and reaching them would not be complete without talking about self doubt and fear of failure. These two things are huge and they
And
will hold us hostage
they
if we let
will.
them.
And this applies to everyone, because even after you've published a number of books, and maybe some have been successful, suddenly the self-doubt can creep in,
Oh,
or
yeah.
the fear of being rejected can creep in. So even if you've had some success as an author, you still have to guard this area.
So, no matter where you're at in the writing process, whether you're just dreaming about writing a book or you have a work in progress, it doesn't matter. Your time is now. Make 2025 your year to achieve your writing goals. And that means start now and learn along the way. And keep, oh, yeah, we don't want to forget this, keep a growth mindset. It's super
Mhm.
important.
So, one of the benefits of setting smart action steps, those little teeny goals that we talked about, is that when you accomplish that, it's amazing how much self doubt that pushes out, how much fear that pushes out. Even if you're setting a goal like writing for 30 minutes a day and you're uninspired and you just write a bunch of gibberish, accomplishing your goal to write that day really can help push back that fear and the self doubt. In fact, I can tell you that I did this last year. I wrote 1,000 words a day, and
That's a lot.
my goal was to do it. And there's times when it's like early in the morning, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I have no idea what to write. I still got to write some words. So I just write some gibberish. But I tell you, the next day I get up and I go, I nailed it. I accomplished my goal. I have to scrap 3 paragraphs. It doesn't matter. My point is, when you set those little action steps and then you do it, it really
Yeah.
does push back on that self doubt. The other thing that is super, super beneficial is to share your writing with a friend, with somebody that's preferably an author or writes, and they can give you encouragement. They can give you feedback that will keep you going and reaching those little target goals. And it's amazing how a little bit of encouragement can push back on fear and self doubt.
Now, a lot of people let fear of failure or just plain fear from sharing their work with a trusted person. And I just want to encourage you, don't let fear keep you from sharing your work and getting that feedback and that encouragement that we all need.
It's it's important that we share with the right people though. Yeah, I think we have to mention
Yes, it
this.
needs to be a trusted person.
If like for me, I'm writing sci-fi. If I share it with somebody that doesn't like sci-fi, and it's maybe I'm not going to get good feedback or people are going to be negative about it. Be careful who you share with. That's why you want to pick another author or somebody that likes that genre or somebody that's supporting you to encourage you. Going right along with that is an accountability system. It is really important for us to have a writing group, a writing friend, or someone that will hold us accountable to these little goals. Now, accountability is really critical because when we get discouraged, that person or group of people can step in and say, "Hey, you didn't reach your goals. What's
You didn't
going
reach your
on?"
goal.
I
What's going
know. What's
on?
going on? What's going on there? And you can get encouragement or advice, or if you're stuck somewhere and you just don't know where to go, you can bounce off ideas. Having somebody or a group of people that is an encouragement group or an accountability group is really, really important to reaching your goals in the big scope of things like publishing a book in 1 year or maybe just finishing your project.
You may feel pressure to write perfect prose every time, but the truth is, perfection is a myth.
Mm.
We all just want to focus on making progress toward those actionable steps
You
that
know,
you've set.
making progress to me is far more beneficial because if I think I have to have it all figured out and be perfect before I start, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah,
The idea that I'm going to make consistent progress 1% at a
just a little
time,
bit at a time.
little bit at a time, man, that really helps me.
And when you do that, you can focus on that, then you will overcome self-doubt, fear, and you might even enjoy the journey of being a writer.
Having a growth mindset is actually critical to the writing process. If we don't have the mindset and nurture the mindset that we are in a process of growth, then it really can defeat us in our books, in our articles, the things that we're writing. We want to have this idea, this concept in our mind that we're constantly learning and growing. And that may include things like taking a class here and there, watching videos like this, meeting with people and sharing ideas back
And
and
reading
forth,
books.
reading
Imagine that.
books.
Yeah.
Imagine that, reading books on writing books. That's always beneficial, but it's really about the mindset that we have so that we can move forward. If we're not really focused on learning and growing, it's going to make it really difficult, especially when you get to the editing process.
Don't forget to celebrate your successes.
Yeah, let's party.
Whether you finish that small goal of a word count milestone, or perhaps it's to complete a first draft or a chapter, whatever it is, make sure that you take time to celebrate achieving those small, actionable steps. That could mean eating a bowl of ice cream.
Wait, 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 wait. Ice cream, that's horrible for you. You should try frozen yogurt. Much better.
Either one. What is a treat for you? What helps you feel like you have achieved something and you're going to celebrate? Perhaps it's just a quiet evening relaxing with family or friends. Whatever it is, helps you feel like you are celebrating your success. Do it. Make sure that you take that time to encourage yourself by achieving those goals and celebrating.
The journey of writing is full of ups and downs like a roller coaster. It's kind of all over the map.
It is.
One day, man, I'm nailing this thing, and the next day, I quit and rage quit. Throw
Yeah.
up, rip up the paper, throw it in a trash can. We do all kinds
This
of
does
stuff like
happen.
that. It's the ups and downs. But if you develop that good mindset and good strategies and good habits along the way, then you'll press through those ups and downs and be able to accomplish your goals. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, if it's been beneficial to you, then you might want to check out this next video on a growth mindset. Very good.
Now, what are your goals for 2025? We would love to hear from you in the comments, and make sure you check out all of our other videos to help you grow as a writer and hit your goals for 2025.